We are developing hardware and software for life science, and I'm also Microsoft MVP in Windows development, and I'm going to talk about Universal Window Platform. So it's a last talk for this day, and I will try to make some things that probably you know already. By the way, how many people try to create universal apps already? Okay. So probably you will be bored, but for the rest, I will try to make something existed for a while in a couple of versions of Windows, plus something just released in November, and some features that are going to be released in the next version of Windows 10, which is called anniversary release, I think, right? It's because it will be released 1 year after Windows 10. But before talking about this cool unified platform, let's look at this journey of Windows. A long time ago, we had multiple versions of Windows. We had Xbox running on own version of Windows. We had desktop and laptops using NT kernel, and we had Windows Phone, which ran on Windows C. So then, at around the Windows 8 runtime, all these three platforms moved to Windows kernel, to Windows NT kernel. But Microsoft at that time didn't change anything about tooling. So yes, underneath, kernel is the same, but we still created or developed multiple applications for different platforms, no compatibility between them. So then around Windows 8.1 and Windows 1.1 time, Microsoft actually moved development platforms together. So it was a first attempt to create some universal platform. It was almost a success, I think, but it was difficult to develop, and we still had some code duplication, some problems with this universal platform. And for Windows 10, Microsoft finally actually moved everything to one platform. So now with Windows 10, we have one unified Windows core, one kernel. We have one application platform to develop for this unified kernel, and we have unified development tools, which allow us to develop not just for PCs, laptops, but for mobile devices and for small devices like Raspberry Pis, so these IoT boards. And also we can use the same tools to develop for devices to like HoloLens. How many people tried HoloLens? Yes. Yeah. Lori, you tried HoloLens.
I did.
Yeah. And you can use the same tools. So you develop once, you test on your laptop, and the same application will be run on your HoloLens, on your mobile device, on your Raspberry Pi.
And the Xbox now.
And Xbox One. Yeah, right. So we have all these devices. They all run the same Windows, right? And how we can develop for all these platforms, because it's different sizes of screens, it's different hardware. So what Microsoft did, they introduced this universal Windows platform. And you can think about this platform as a composition of two big elements, API and application lifecycle. So Microsoft introduced this single unified API set, which is the same for all devices. So you develop your application against one set of APIs, and they guarantee that these APIs will be present for all devices. Also, the same for application model. They introduced some application lifecycle, application model, which is scalable from small IoT devices, again, to HoloLenses and big hub screens. It's the same model. Your application behaves absolutely in the same way for all these devices. And they take care not just about running, but also about installing, about updating, and if your application is not too good for the user, uninstall it, unfortunately. So, from developer perspective, how it looks like. We have this unified Windows 10. We still have old style tools, or how they now call it, classic desktop tools, to develop applications using .NET Runtime and C++. If you want to use Universal Windows Platform, it's a new layer between operating system and our tools, but we still can use the same C++, .NET, and .NET languages. To be clear, this .NET is a subset of .NET you see here on the left side, and it's represented as a .NET Core. So how many people heard about .NET Core? Nice. That's good. Why are you joking? Why are you smiling?
I think it was the presentation this morning.
Oh, sorry. I missed it. Sorry. And I think that presentation was about ASP.NET, right? Not about
But I
that.
talked about .NET Core too.
.NET Core.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you fully know that when you develop your universal Windows platform apps, you actually develop against .NET Core, not full old style .NET. But additionally, because they think about already existing applications, and they want that people who already have some applications on the market benefit from the new platforms, from the new features of the Universal Windows Platform. So Microsoft introduced some bridging technologies. And these technologies will allow you to bring your current applications into this modern universal world. So what we have so far, we have iOS or Objective-C bridge. We have web bridge to host your web applications, and we have bridge for bringing your desktop applications. So I will talk about first and the last one. So what you can do with Windows Bridge for iOS? You can take your iOS project. You can get this as an Xcode project. You can import it in your Visual Studio, and you can use it inside of Visual Studio as normal application or normal project, like you created it from scratch. You can compile it, you can build, you can debug in a normal way, like you're doing it with .NET and C#. You can actually add additional features which are specific to Universal Windows Platform. So you can integrate your iOS application with Windows. You can add live tiles, you can add Cortana support, you can add notification center access. So all these features are available for you. This bridge is open source, so if something doesn't work for you, feel free, contribute if you want. And you can take it, it's available, it's already released, it's not preview anymore. So you can use it if you have anything which you want to port to Windows. Also we have Project Centennial. So this is a project, or this is a bridge, which allows you to take your existing desktop application and convert it into universal application. So how it works? Actually, it's just a wrapper for your installer. So it takes your already prepared application, your installer, MSI or Wix. So you can use any installation tool which produces MSI, and this installer will be wrapped into a modern Windows installation technology, something like this. So it will be wrapped, and from this moment, your desktop application can benefit from all features available for Universal Windows Platform. So, in addition to having access to these new Windows features, because you're using new installation technology, everything will be installed in one place, and system will take care about this installation. It will install, it will cleanly uninstall it, so no more installation in different places, no more pieces remaining after uninstallation of your project. Windows will cleanly uninstall everything. Also, it will allow you to have silent updates for your application. So now, when you wrap in this modern installer, you can publish your desktop application on the store, on the Windows Store, and then you can publish updates on the Windows Store, and this application will automatically be updated on the user's machine. So you don't need to implement your own update technology. Everything will be taken care of by Windows. Downside of using this technology, that all the code should be executed into code namespace. So basically you cannot run anything in elevated mode. So if you expected that your application is executed in elevated mode, maybe it will not work for you. And as a result of this restriction, you cannot put drivers into this installer, and you cannot put NT services. So just applications. How it works? As I said, it starts from MSI installer. You can have, right now, it just takes ready MSI. But also Microsoft works with tools developers to allow us to take some code or some project before MSI, like take Wix solution or installed sheet solution, and apply this converter on this stage when MSI is not assembled. But right now you need download converter, and this converter is composed from two pieces. One piece is a converter by itself, and second piece is a clean image of Windows 10. So when you submit your MSI into the converter, what it actually is doing, it takes MSI, installs into this clean image, and tracks all the changes your installer doing to the Windows system. It records all these changes and puts this information into this appx file. Okay? So then it knows how system was modified by your installer, and is able to then remove all this basis information, registry entries when your application is uninstalled. So when you have your appx file, you can actually continue working on your file, on your project, add additional features, and you can also introduce additional API calls to Universal Windows Platform. So now you have your desktop applications with full access, not only Win32 APIs, but also with full access to Universal Windows Platform. And then you can publish this to the store. You can use some administrative tools to distribute it in your corporate, or you can simply sideload it into your computer. And I think I talked about this. So yeah, it's not just access to APIs, but also access to new features, to features of Universal App. If you try to access Universal Windows Platform from normal desktop applications, not wrapped into this installer, you may know that you can access to some of APIs. But APIs like Lifecycle, notifications, they require some identification of your application. And you can get this identification only when you've wrapped into this installer. And talking about notifications, just nice changes which are coming to next version of Windows 10. So Action Center will be enhanced, so our applications will be able to put more information into this Action Center. So we will be able to put this here images from our application to nicely represent application. We will be able to put more different information into the stack of Action Center. We can even have these complicated layouts, because right now it's simple text, no images, nothing too complicated. With the new release, it will be really Action Center where you can put any kind of information. And it will be supported by templates which are identical for live tiles and for the toasts and for the Action Center. So you develop one template, and you will use this template to present information for user using all ways provided by Windows 10. Plus, Microsoft will introduce this notification listener technology, which allows you to synchronize all these notifications between different presentation parts. So for example, if you're presenting something on Lifecycle and user dismiss the same message on Action Center, then this notification listener will allow you to dismiss it from Lifecycle. And even better, this notification listener will allow you to synchronize your messages or notifications between different devices. I think most of us use more than one or more than two devices. And if user dismiss something on one device, you don't want to present the same notification on all other devices. So with this technology, you will be able to do this synchronization. Also, they're introducing these notifications in cloud. So this goes beyond Windows 10. You will be able to synchronize these notifications between different platforms. So basically, if you have one application implemented for iOS, Android, Windows, and you present the same notifications, once user saw notification, dismiss it, you can dismiss it from all other platforms. Returning back to App Lifecycle, one new enhancement, which will be again introduced in upcoming release, is the Extensibility framework and application services. So it's known that many applications are successful only because they have some ecosystem around the applications. So you can think about Photoshop, Office. So they have lots of plugins which enhance all these applications. And Microsoft provides some way to us to enhance our applications as well, and do this in a common way without developing own builds and own bicycles. So first we will have an option to expose some services from the application, and these services can be consumed by other applications. So we can think about something like Facebook. So Facebook can create some common connector which expose services, and all other applications can use these Facebook services. And also, we'll be able to create extensions. So, how many people know about Edge? Microsoft Edge? Browser? Yeah, browser. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's a new browser, and it was heavily criticized that it was released without extension support. So now, new version of Edge will support extensions, and these extensions will be based on the same technology. So Microsoft actually uses the same technology for their own products, and they give us ability to use it in our products. How it works? It's simple. Your application simply publish some contract. So then anybody who wants to create extension for your application, implement extension for this contract. That's it. The rest managed by Windows. The only thing that we will need to provide our own API, not API, UX or user experience for adding, removing this extension from our runtime. So we have this one operating system which runs everywhere. We have one platform which supported on all these devices. We have one dev center. So they merged Windows and Windows Phone Dev Center. So you have unified experience when you submit your app. So you submit it once, it's available everywhere. And one store. So right now the store is available only for Windows Phone and Windows Desktop, but soon we'll have Xbox joining here. So with one store you can publish for these 3 different platforms. And all this handled by one binary. So when you build one package, you submit this package to the store, and it's available everywhere. Does it mean that you create just one view which sucks equally on all devices? No, obviously. They need to provide for us some tools to differentiate our applications on different platforms. they need to help us to design these applications for different platforms. And what they're doing, they're providing standard mechanisms, which we know from web development, to make our applications responsive. So how many people develop for web? So some people know. For people who don't know what it is about, responsive design, the main idea is that you are not designing some fixed sizes for your applications. You just try to put your content in the best way for current screen size. And for this, you use different techniques. You can reposition some elements. So for example, you have, for big screens, picture on the left, text on the right. For smaller screen, you shuffle them, and you have picture on top, text on bottom. So you can hide some elements, you can show some elements, you can simply resize them, replace with different items. So all these are known techniques. So they are really known for web developers, and now we have tools to apply them for desktop development as well. So for small changes, we can use this responsive design idea when we slightly change our UI. And for this, we use some tools, which I will show soon, built into the platform. Plus, all controls which are created for the platform already by default support this responsiveness. If you need to change something really dramatically, for example, you have application which should run on phone and on hub device. So it's a huge screen with touch, and you need to have two different interfaces. In this case, you can use tailored design idea when you develop some screens specifically for this device. So you have two options. If it's a small change, use responsive design. If it's a really different screens for different devices, we can use this tailored design idea. And here are some examples how it looks like. So the same Skype application. So this is Universal Windows app, and running on screen. It's just reshuffle how control looks like, and then running on tablet. It's almost the same, just scaled and moved to read. So this is example of adaptive design. And then we have calendar application, which looks totally different on phone and on desktop. So basically they implemented two different views for these two different devices. And to show in live how it looks like. So this is calculator, okay, standard. It's now it runs in a big screen, so it is in PC mode. If I will start moving it or resizing it slowly, you see things are changing. So if I will move it like this, it's also small changes here, small changes there, removing some controls, and all the things are powered by the system, by the platform. So you don't need to invent your own ways to move these things. So again, we have these two different approaches, but how to practically design your application, how to do this. It is recommended to think about some common scenarios. So for all these devices, think first about three main cases. Think about phone, small 5-inch phone. Think about tablet, 8-inch, and about 13-inch laptop. When you implement these three cases, you can easily scale using these adaptive techniques to smaller, bigger screens of the phones. You can scale to different tablet size and larger laptops. So then, if your application makes sense for big screens like Xbox or this hub devices, then you can create tailored view. So this is basically recommended approach. For your particular application, it may be different, but try with this, and if it doesn't work, invent your own thing. Okay, so now let's see a short demo how these manipulations can be done inside of application.